I'm Adam Saxon, Principal Program Manager on the Microsoft Fabric product team. Welcome, Fabric community, to the November 2024 edition of the Fabric Monthly Update. We've packed this update with exciting new and updated features, along with a ton of great demos. Shout out to all the members of the Fabric community joining us at Microsoft Ignite this week. We're excited to see you. Before we dive into this month's updates, I want to remind you all that the Microsoft Fabric Community Conference will be returning in 2025. Join us in Las Vegas, March 31st through April 2nd for a week jam-packed with exciting updates, upskilling opportunities, and product announcements. The conference will have 20 pre-con workshops, a partner pre-day, an MVP pre-day, more than 140 sessions from the product team and the Fabric community, and our swag-filled Power Hour. Check out aka.ms/fabcon for more details and register with code MSCUST to save $150. You'll find the links to FabCon Vegas 2025 and more details about all the features this month in the video description below. All right, enough of all this talking. Let's get into the updates, starting out with Power BI. First up, we've got Copilot and AI, and we're going to start with Copilot in Power BI mobile apps, which is in preview right now. We're excited to announce the release of Copilot in Power BI mobile apps. This new feature enhances your mobile experiences when you're on the go by bringing the power of AI directly to your fingertips, offering a quick and simple way to dive into your data. With Copilot in Power BI mobile apps, you no longer need to analyze data by yourself. Copilot provides report summaries and insights, allowing you to make informed decisions anytime and anywhere. Then we've got Copilot summaries and subscriptions. Do you need insights from Power BI images or a quick summary in your email? Look no further, subscribing to Copilot summaries for your Power BI reports. This feature is available for standard subscriptions and Copilot eligible reports. Check out the monthly update blog for more instructions on setting up Copilot summaries for the Power BI reports you subscribe to. We have a great demo from Michael Foster-Helde on Copilot in Power BI mobile apps in preview. Let's take a look at that right now.
We are very excited to introduce the release of Copilot in Power BI mobile apps. This new feature brings the power of AI directly to your fingertips, enhancing your mobile experience where you're on the go and offering a quick and simple way to dive into your data. Let's see what you can do with it and how it works. The Copilot button in the mobile app is available for mobile phones on reports that meets Copilot requirements in Power BI. To start using it, just tap on the Copilot button located in the report header and select whether you want to get a summary or look into insights. Once the request has been made, in this case, the request is for an executive summary. The Copilot chat opens with the relevant prompt and starts working on providing the requested summary. Here is the result of the request of getting an executive summary on this page. To view or explore the data referenced in the summary received, you can tap on it and get a closer look on the relevant visual. The visual is interactive, so you can use our mobile app interaction on it, like long tap for tooltip and drill down and up. You can continue to explore other references as well. And to continue exploring the report using Copilot Assistance, you can select a suggested prompts from the bottom of the screen. You can view more suggestions by tapping on the refresh button. The suggestions can include additional prompts like find insights or result adjustments like make it shorter or make it formal. The current summary is only on this page, and you can ask to get a summary of the entire report. Since the summary is long, I will expand the chat to read it more easily. Tapping on the references icon will open the references list, where you can see all the referenced visual with the relevant name and pages. If this summary is too long for your needs, you can use the Make It Shorter suggestion to get a shorter summary. If you are pleased with the resulted summary and you want to share it, you can use the copy option to copy the results to the clipboard and then paste it wherever you like. You can see that in addition to the summary, there is also a link to the report that the summary was created for. So if the recipient needs more details, they can simply open the report from that link. To view the report again, you can close the Copilot chat. Don't worry, the chat history will stay intact when you close the chat and navigate to other pages, as long as you don't exit or refresh the report. So this is our first Copilot feature we are launching for Power BI mobile apps, and we are planning to introduce many more in the future. We invite you to give it a try and share your thoughts with us, including any capabilities you would like to see incorporated in the future. Thank you.
Next up, we've got reporting updates inside of Power BI, and the first of these is a path layer for the Azure Map visual. This month, a new feature called the path layer is being introduced to the Azure Map visual, enhancing geospatial analytics capabilities. The path layer allows users to visualize connections between multiple geographic points. Whether you're overseeing logistics, analyzing network traffic, or monitoring asset shipments worldwide, this feature enables you to visualize connections between multiple geographic points in an intuitive and interactive manner. Visual calculations. This month, we are adding a highly requested feature, export support. You can now export data from visuals with visual calculations or hidden fields. When exporting data, hidden fields within a visual are excluded unless you choose to export the underlying data. The results from visual calculations are consistently included in the export. However, this does not apply when exporting underlying data, as visual calculations are exclusive to the visual and do not form part of the underlying data. Set alert with Activator and real-time intelligence generally available. In December, we announced the public preview of alerting capabilities within Power BI reports using real-time intelligence Activator, part of Microsoft Fabric. This capability is now generally available. A couple of GA capabilities are stay on top of your critical metrics by monitoring your business objects, unlock the full potential of creating business rules on your data with advanced data filtering and monitoring capabilities, and set up rules that trigger automatically with every new event that comes in on your stream of data. For even more capabilities, find this feature in our monthly updates blog. All right, that's it for reporting. Let's check out a couple of demos. First up, path layer for the Azure Map visual from Amanda Riviera, followed by visual calculations in preview from your own Gerhardit.
This month, we're introducing a new feature to the Azure Map visual, the path layer. This new layer provides users with the ability to visualize geographic connections between multiple points. Whether you're managing logistics, analyzing network traffic, or tracking asset shipments across the globe, this feature allows you to visualize connections between multiple geographic points in an intuitive and interactive way. Let's start with a simple example. Here, we want to visualize the two routes for some ships. We have the latitude and longitude, the timestamp for each of the locations, and a label for the two routes for the ships, Path A and Path B. To draw the line, we start by dragging the Path ID column over to the field well. With this, you can see lines start to be drawn. However, we don't know yet what order the points should be in, so it's not showing in a smooth line. So next we add the timestamp to the point order field well, which will indicate to the visual what's the correct order for each point to be connected. You'll also be able to style each line based off of the path ID. So we can make one line purple, and the other pink. You can also control the transparency and width of each of the lines. The lines are also interactive, so as you hover over them, you'll see the tooltip for the nearest point, and clicking on the line will select that point, cross-highlighting other visuals. By default, the bubbles for each of the location will continue to show on the map once you've made your path, but you can choose to turn the bubble layer off in the formatting settings and just see the paths. When you do this, the bubbles will only show when hovering over the line, which indicates what point would be selected if you did click. If you need to break your data down by another category, you are able to add a legend field to the visual as well. Let's, for this example, assume that we have two planes, one named Alpha and one named Beta. And each of these planes has a primary route that it flies, which is labeled A. And the Alpha plane also has a secondary route that it will sometimes do that's labeled B. In my map, when I just have the path ID for the routes, you can see that the primary routes for both my Alpha and Beta planes are being grouped together. But if I go ahead and add the plane names to the legend, now there's 3 lines. The Beta is the dark blue, and then there's 2 alphas, Alpha A and Alpha B. There is a unique behavior to be aware of when it comes to drilling. Drilling down in a hierarchy, like for example going from country to city in this example, would result in many odd paths. We're setting the order based off of the timestamp again, but if we were at the top level of the hierarchy, most of the points would just show up on top of each other representing the US. And it's only once the visual is drilled down that the unique locations that we're trying to connect are actually shown. Given this, when a drill hierarchy is present at the same time as the path layer, we automatically drill the visual down to the lowest level, and you are not able to drill back up. Another thing to be aware of is that when there's a point that's part of 2 different paths, the bubbles for each of those paths will show on top of each other, meaning you wouldn't immediately be able to see the bubble that's on the bottom. However, if you hover on the line for that path, it bubbles up to the top. Lastly, there's a few limitations to be aware of. Today, the path layer works primarily with the bubble layer. Once you add a path to your map, you'll see that the filled map, cluster bubbles, heat map, and 3D column layers are all disabled. Additionally, while you can use the path layer in conjunction with reference layers, the reference layer will be static. It's currently unsupported to mix data-bound reference layers with the path layer. And that's it for the path layer. Please give it a try and let us know if you have any feedback and what you'd like to see next.
This month, we're enabling export for visuals that include one or more visual calculations. So here I have a visual that has a sales amount and a diff visual calculation. The actual calculation here doesn't matter, but it's a sales amount minus previous sales amount. So it calculates a difference for each region against the previous region in the chart. So again, the actual visual calculation doesn't matter. What matters is that I have a visual calculation on this visual. Now, if I go into here, previously export was disabled, so you couldn't export any visual that had any visual calculation. But now it's enabled, and of course, depending on the type of visual, some of the options might not be available to you. For example, this is now disabled because I am not exporting a table or a matrix. This data with current layout is only available for those. And then also the underlying data is turned off because of the report author making settings here. But summarized data is available for me, so I'm going to pick that, and then I'm going to just export to an Excelix. Okay, I'm going to export that, and then when you see the export, you will notice that this export now it does include the visual calculation. So not only does it include the region and the sum of sales amount as expected, but also the results of the visual calculation are now included. Now, one more thing to just quickly note, if I go back in here in the export, so the visual calculation will be included except for underlying data. So for all export types, it will be included except for underlying data. because a visual calculation is not part of your data model, it's part of your visual. So it's not included in the underlying data. So when you export a visual that has a visual calculation to underlying data, you can do it, but the visual calculation will be removed from the export, so it will not be included in the actually exported file.
Time for some modeling updates. First up, defining new measures in DAX Query View quick queries. Creating measures in DAX Query View is now simpler. The Quick Queries option in the context menu of tables, columns, or items in the data pane include Define New Measure. This will generate a new query table with the initial syntax prepared, enabling you to create a query-scoped measure DAX formula. You can then incorporate your own DAX formula and run it when ready. Metric sets, a new era of metric management in Fabric. The public preview of metric sets is now officially available for both service and desktop platforms. This significant new feature is aimed at transforming the way organizations manage and utilize metrics. The Fabric metric layer centralizes in the Power BI Metrics Hub, simplifying metric management, ensuring consistency, and building trust in data across your organization. Announcing performance improvements for models with calculation groups and format strings in Excel. There are now substantial performance improvements for MDX queries on models with calculation groups and format strings. The recent updates are expected to enhance the performance and reliability of operations in Analyze in Excel for models that include one or both of dynamic format strings for measures and calculated items with format strings. These improvements extend to other MDX scenarios, meaning all client applications that use MDX to query semantic models with these features will benefit from the same performance enhancements. Experience semantic modeling as code with the Tyndall extension for Visual Studio Code. Power BI developers can now enjoy the Tabular Model Definition Language, or Tyndall, extension for Visual Studio Code, which is available in public preview and helps to improve semantic model development. Tyndall aims to make model representations readable, editable, collaborative, and reusable. The Tyndall extension enhances these aspects of Tyndall by adding several features that provide a comprehensive development experience. DLP policies restrict access action for semantic models. Purview data loss prevention policies for Fabric now allow administrators to restrict access based on the sensitive information detected within their semantic model's data. When Purview compliance administrators configure DLP policies for Fabric, they now have the option to block access to the data upon detecting sensitive information. They can either prevent guest users from accessing the data or restrict access for all users except the data administrator. All right, now let's check out the demos for modeling.
The new OneLake catalog will be the central place where data engineers, data scientists, analysts, and decision makers can explore and govern all their data from a single location. Let's see how it works. Heading into the OneLake catalog to discover relevant data, I'll start my search by browsing the domains in my organization. From the catalog, I can see all the domains and also subdomains I have access to. In this example, I'll select the sales domain, and after reading more about the domain, I'm ready to proceed. Now I'll browse the catalog to discover items in this domain. I can further refine the results to see items I own, endorsed and certified items, or just my favorites. And I can also filter the catalog to only show items from a specific workspace. Now I'll choose the type of content I need. The catalog includes all the data item types I'm familiar with from the OneLake Data Hub, like lakehouses, warehouses, and semantic models. But in addition, I now get access to the full range of item types in Fabric, including insight item types like reports and dashboards, as well as the full set of configuration, solution, and process item types. Drilling into the process category shows me the relevant items I have access to, including pipelines and notebooks. I also have the ability to filter my results by the set of tags in use in my org. This helps me drill down faster to the precise results that are relevant to my needs. Clicking on any item gives me all the information I need up front. Metadata, like the item description and tags, help me get to know this item better. Clicking into lineage shows me the set of relations the item exists in, while keeping me in my current context, making it easier for me to work. Monitor gives me context on all the recent runs for this item. When I'm exploring the data items types, I'll get the same in-place experience we've already seen. I also have the ability to see all the objects and sub-items contained within my data items, whether that's the tables and columns within a semantic model or a lakehouse, or the full content hierarchy of the schemas within a warehouse. It's all in one place. Today I'm working with the sales demo lakehouse. Clicking into its lineage view shows me all the downstream items built upon it. Switching to list view shows me key information about all these related items, like the item and relationship type, and also sensitivity. With my data protected, I'm ready to share it. And today I'll create a new external data share. I'll select a table I want to share from the lakehouse, a recipient outside my org, and hit send. I've also spotted a semantic model that looks like it could be relevant to me. By clicking Explore this data, I can drill into the item's contents and create on-the-spot visualizations to better understand what I'm seeing. So that was a glimpse over the key capabilities of the new OneLake catalog. The catalog will make it simpler to explore, manage, and govern all your Fabric items in one place.
A few weeks ago, we launched a public preview of the Tyndall extension for Visual Studio Code. If you're a semantic model developer, this feature is going to be huge news for you. Now you can truly experience semantic modeling as code with a rich language editing experience that's going to allow you to work with your semantic model Tyndall for your development scenarios. Let's explore how we can use the Tyndall extension to edit this semantic model we have right here. First thing to call out is the coloring for different objects, properties, and property values we see here. That's easy on the eyes and helps us quickly navigate the file. You can see here off to the side and down below that there's a few errors in the file. With the error diagnostics feature, we can detect and correct those errors before we have to find out the hard way by deploying our models to service. So let's go on over to our first error. We got a duplicate property here, data type under column. Let's see. The issue here is we got two data types. Let's just remove one, and that should fix the issue. For our second error, we see the column is misspelled here. So let's just quickly fix that spelling. And that destroyed the next error too. So we're good to go. So now that our model file is error-free, let's go ahead and do something interesting. I noticed that we have sales, COGS, and profit columns here. So let's define some explicit measures to give us totals for those. Let's add those at the top of the file. So the first one, we'll start typing it out. And we see here that autocomplete actually suggests suggestions while we type. So let's hit tab, get that, and we can start writing our measure here. Let's do total sales, call it that, and start writing some DAX. CO. And then we want our column name, which is sales. And so while we're at it, let's also format this as a dollar value like we would like with sales. Okay. And since we're working with code here, we can save ourselves some time by pasting these and simply changing these values. Let's change this one to profit, change this one to COGS, and that should take care of our measure creation. But now we have those totals, I think we also want to get some averages. Now, I don't feel like doing this myself, so let me leverage another tool that we get easy access to by being the VS Code platform, GitHub Copilot. So let's enable this here and go on back over to our Tyndall file. Here I can talk to Copilot directly. I think I'm just going to ask Copilot to write me measures to get average sales, profit, and COGS. So let's do that. And so let's accept those changes. And we got some quick and easy measure creation. Now let's save this and use the baked-in source control to go ahead and stage our changes. Write a commit here. And sync our changes. This should deploy our model to our workspace, which is already integrated with Git. So now if we go on over to service, we see here that we have our workspace and that's synced to Git. So let's quickly refresh the page. We see that we have some updates coming in. Let's accept those updates. And let's see our model. And it looks like all our measures are visible. And this is just an example of how you can use the Tyndall extension for your semantic model development scenarios. Try the Tyndall extension for yourself today and accelerate your semantic model development.
Purview data loss prevention policies for Fabric now enable admins to restrict access based on the sensitive information detected within their semantic model's data. We'll first establish two Fabric user types. One is the workspace admin, who has full access to all the data in the workspace, and the other is the consumer in that workspace. We're going to start with a clean workspace for both. In the data admins view, we can see that when the user creates new content, in this case uploading a PBIX file into Fabric, the semantic model, the report, and the dashboard are all visible to the admin. When we switch to the consumer view, we can still see all the items. Now let's create a DLP policy. In the new Microsoft Purview portal, I can go to Data Loss Prevention, Policies, and create a new one. I'm selecting a custom template. I'm giving it a name. I'm selecting Fabric as the location. And then I can create a new rule. In this example, I will use sensitive info types as the condition, meaning the data that I want DLP to look for within my semantic models. I will look for credit card numbers. What's new here is the action that is now enabled, where I can decide if I would like the policy to block all users or only guest users. In this example, we'll select all users. Of course, I'm going to choose the show policy tip with custom text for my end users to be able to understand the guidelines, and I'm saving my rule. Here I can always review the condition and the action that I set up. Normally, we would recommend to always test policies in simulation mode first, but for the purpose of this demo, I'm turning it on immediately. That's it. Now let's see restrict access in action. Back in Fabric, I'm starting with the workspace admin view. I can see that after refresh, my restricted items have an indication, letting me know that some of the users no longer have access to my items. On each of my items, I can see the hover card, and from there I can click to see all the details of the policies that were matched for this item. And on the policy tip itself, as an admin, I can report an issue or override in case of a false positive, for example. Moving back to my consumer, first of all, we can see that the restricted item, the semantic model, disappeared from this user's view. There's also an indication on the report that the underlying data is restricted. If I go ahead and drill down into the report, or if I were to access it through a link, for example, I can see that there is no data in it because I was restricted, and I no longer have permissions to view this data. As we saw, with restrict access and DLP policies in Fabric, admins can further control and enforce access based on the sensitive information found in their data. Thank you.
Next up is for developers and APIs. Fabric Get Tyndall format for semantic model export. As part of our ongoing commitment to fostering a developer-friendly environment that enhances team collaboration, Fabric Get integration will soon begin exporting semantic model definitions using the tabular model definition language, or Tyndall. This update will replace the current use of a single JSON file, model.bim, with tabular model scripting language, or TMSL. Tyndall's folder representation and readable format greatly improves source control, making it easier to track commit history and resolve merge conflicts, especially compared to TMSL. All right, let's talk about visualizations. We have some great visualizations this month. We've got KPI by PowerViz, Zebra BI Tables 7.3, the most interactive waterfall visual for financial data by Zoom Charts, and Lollipop Bar Chart by Nova Silva. And now for what I like to call the other section. Support for Power BI language settings when a paginated report is viewed within Power BI. When a localized paginated report is published to Power BI in the Fabric service, the viewer will see the report in the preferred language set within the Power BI report settings page. Previously, the report's rendering was determined by the server settings. Wow, talk about some great Power BI updates. Now, let's check out other Fabric updates, starting with Platform. Introducing the new OneLake catalog. The OneLake catalog is the next evolution of the OneLake Data Hub. It will provide a unified experience where data engineers, data scientists, analysts, and decision makers can browse, manage, and govern all their data from a single intuitive location. The OneLake catalog now includes the full spectrum of item types in Fabric, such as dashboards and reports, rolling out by end of November, data flows, pipelines, and more. Tenant Switcher Control. Tenant Switcher is now in the Fabric portal. Users with access to more than one Fabric tenant can easily switch between tenants directly from the account manager in the top right corner of the Fabric portal. This is in addition to the existing From External Orgs tab that can be found in the homepage of the Power BI experience. Automate GitHub integration with Microsoft Fabric REST APIs. We're excited to announce the launch of our new REST APIs for seamless GitHub integration. These APIs facilitate the automation of various Git-related tasks, including connecting to GitHub, retrieving connection details, committing changes to your GitHub repository, updating from the repository, and much more. Switch branches from the source control pane. Switching connected Git branches is now available directly through the source control pane. All branching actions can now be accessed in one place within the Branches tab. With this capability, you can now branch out to new workspaces, check out branches, and switch branch. Let's talk about OneLake. External data sharing general availability. The external data sharing feature announced earlier this year is now generally available. This feature allows OneLake tables and folders to be shared across tenant boundaries. Currently, each share can include a single folder or table from a lakehouse. Future releases will add support for multiple folders and tables in a single share, as well as sharing from warehouses and event houses. Next up, databases. SQL databases in Fabric public preview. We're excited to announce that SQL databases is now available as a native solution in Microsoft Fabric from a public preview perspective. And it's the first database offering to land in the new databases workload. This new offering is seamlessly integrated with the Fabric platform and includes unified billing through the capacity units model. Whether you're working on a small or large analytics project, we have heard your feedback. You need database support inside Microsoft Fabric. Mirroring for Azure SQL databases generally available. We're excited to announce the general availability of mirroring for Azure SQL databases in Fabric. Mirroring is a simple, free, and frictionless way to replicate a snapshot and incremental data changes from Azure SQL Database to Fabric OneLake with data sync in near real time. Moving on to data engineering. Notebook display chart upgrade. We're excited to announce our enhanced notebook display with an improved chart view. This update offers a more intuitive and powerful way to visualize your data using the built-in visualizations tool on Fabric notebooks. A few of the key features are multiple chart reviews, advanced chart editing, and interactive toolbar. Mirrored database are now supported in Spark notebooks. Support for mirrored databases in Spark notebooks is now available. This enhancement allows users to explore and run read-only queries on open format tables like lakehouses while utilizing advanced analytics engines without needing to migrate any data into Fabric. This update introduces an enhanced level of flexibility to your data workflows, enabling seamless access and analysis of data from multiple sources. We're eager for you to experience this integration and realize the increased potential with Spark notebooks. Fabric API for GraphQL is now generally available with exciting new features. The general availability of the Microsoft Fabric API for GraphQL has been announced, making a milestone in providing powerful, flexible, and efficient data access APIs in Fabric. This release introduces new capabilities to improve your GraphQL API experience in Fabric, building on last month's updates like service principal support and code generation from the API editor. These enhancements make it easier to leverage Fabric data in your business applications. Esri's ArcGIS Geo-Analytics integration with Microsoft Fabric Spark. Esri is a global provider of geographic information system, or GIS technology, location intelligence, and mapping through its flagship software, ArcGIS. Esri's tools enable businesses, governments, and communities to address various challenges using spatial analysis and location insights. Microsoft and Esri have partnered to integrate spatial analytics into Microsoft Fabric, with a public preview set to launch soon. This collaboration will introduce advanced visual spatial analytics within Microsoft Fabric Spark notebooks and Spark job definitions applicable to both data engineering and data science. JAR libraries are now supported in Fabric environments. Java Archive, or JAR, files are a packaging format utilized in the Java ecosystem. They enable developers to bundle various files, such as Java class files, metadata, and resources, into a single compressed archive for distribution. JAR files streamline the distribution and execution of Java applications and libraries by consolidating everything into one file, which can be efficiently shared and managed. Now that we've learned about these features, we have a few demos for data engineering.
Hello everyone, welcome to this exciting demo of our latest upgrade to the notebook display chart view. Let's dive into the details. In the display command output, now you can see a new chart button aside from the rich data frame table view. Click on the new chart. You can find rich and insightful recommendations based on your data frame from the new experience. You can select one as template to start editing, and you can use the Explore button to revisit the recommendations easily. We've added a lot of new capabilities on the chart settings view. You can edit chart title and subtitle, add legend, and adjust the position. In advanced settings, you can choose the theme, add labels, adopt scale to label. All your configurations are saved immediately. And you can use aggregate all functions to summarize the entire dataset. We now support adding multiple charts in the display widgets. In this case, you can start from scratch to build a new chart, just with selecting a chart type and setting the key value columns. In this upgrade, we provided an enhanced filter. You can easily select a column and use rules to filter out the values you wanted to see. The functions like filter and custom ranges on the display toolbar will be applied to both tables and charts. You can define up to 5 charts in one display widget. You can add, delete, duplicate, and rename charts easily. We also provide a toggle switch if you want to return to the old experience. We hope you enjoy these new features and look forward to seeing the amazing insights you'll uncover with them. Thanks for watching.
Fabric API for GraphQL is now generally available with exciting new features. You can now use saved credentials to connect to data sources. We also support 2 new data sources, Azure SQL and Fabric SQL databases, allowing you to seamlessly integrate these popular databases into your GraphQL queries, providing a unified and efficient way to access and manipulate your data. Another important feature for developers, API for GraphQL now supports Git integration, allowing developers to synchronize GraphQL items in a workspace with GitHub or Azure DevOps repositories, ensuring that your GraphQL API definitions are always up to date and under version control. In addition to Git integration, GraphQL APIs can also be integrated with Fabric deployment pipelines. Deployment pipelines allow developers to create stages such as development, test, and production, with linked workspaces assigned to them, enabling a seamless transition between different environments and automated deployments based on API changes in these workspaces. You can now enable a monitoring dashboard that allows you to visualize API activity at a glance. The new dashboard provides important insights and allows you to go one level deeper to access detailed information about every request with API request logging. Fabric API for GraphQL, your Fabric Data API, now generally available and better than ever.
Esri is recognized as the global market leader in Geographic Information System or GIS technology, location intelligence, and mapping, primarily through its flagship software ArcGIS. Esri empowers businesses, governments, and communities to tackle the world's most pressing challenges through spatial analysis and location insights. We are truly excited to announce that Microsoft and Esri have partnered to bring spatial analytics into Microsoft Fabric. Our collaboration with Esri will introduce cutting-edge visual spatial analytics right within Microsoft Fabric Spark notebooks and Spark job definitions, which is available across both data engineering and data science experiences. Let's take a look at how we can generate data insights by exploring the predictive impact natural disasters have on insured properties. We have this data set of insured properties that have actual individual point locations attached to them in the lakehouse, like latitude, longitude. Let's read this data in a Spark notebook and plot it to analyze it better with easily provided base map for context. As you can notice, we have here too much data to see a clear pattern. So let's transform the data to uncover the pattern of our interest. For instance, summarizing the total number of policies by hexagonal bins or counting the total insured values in millions of dollars as shown here. Beyond just visualizing distribution, we can ask more complex analysis questions like how risky these insurance policies are. For that, we can bring a dataset from ArcGIS Living Atlas of the World with data for FEMA National Risk Index, where each census tract has risk rating. Using a special join, we can combine this data with insured property so that policy is enriched with risk index, risk score, and risk rating. Our policy records are now a lot smarter and can be written back to Lakehouse to be used across our organization for additional analysis and modeling. We can also visualize summarized results in Power BI dashboard, for instance, filtering for location with highest risk policies. We can quickly explore areas where an insurance company may be carrying too much risk relative to other areas in their portfolio. We may also want to understand the impact of natural hazards or current events. Let's bring a data set with probabilities of hurricane force winds over a 5-day period. This can be explored visually, but to use this information effectively, we need the hurricane force wind data to be spatially tied to our insured properties. Spatial join links insured properties with wind speed probabilities, and with that, for each property, we now know the likelihood of hurricane force winds. The enriched data can be used in Power BI for interactive exploration to identify total insured value by probabilities of hurricane force wind. In summary, this is just a small example of what is possible with the spatial analytics in Microsoft Fabric. We just looked at a set of insured data that we could enrich especially to answer a number of critical questions about potential impact based on upcoming natural disaster. But there are so much more you can do with this power in your hand.
Now for some data science, low-code AutoML. AutoML, or automated machine learning, automates the task involved in developing machine learning models. It manages data pre-processing, feature engineering, model selection, and hyperparameter tuning, enabling users to concentrate on results, interpretation, and decision-making. Now, let's take a look at a demo from Misha Desai.
AutoML in Fabric simplifies building and deploying machine learning models with minimal effort. So let's take a look at how we can create an AutoML trial from a Fabric experiment item. First, I'll explore and select from my available lakehouses. Once I've chosen a lakehouse, I can then select the files or tables within it to use for my AutoML trial. Next, I'll select my AutoML task. For this scenario, I want to build a churn classification model. After that, I'll then select my AutoML mode. Since I want quick and speedy results, here I'll opt for the prototype mode. Now I'll select my prediction column, the exited field. Finally, I can select how I want to run my AutoML trial using Spark. After reviewing my selections, the AutoML wizard generates a customized notebook based on my chosen parameters. This notebook not only allows me to further refine the model, but also provides reproducible workflow for future use. Last, once I run my AutoML notebook, I can easily track the best performing model for my AutoML trial. This is powered by our MLflow integration, ensuring that each model logs the key metrics, parameters, and model files necessary for reproducibility. I can also inspect and compare all the other models that were explored during this trial with ease. With these tools at hand, AutoML in Fabric streamlines the entire process, making it easier than ever to build, track, and optimize machine learning models.
Next up, data warehouse. Cold query performance improvements. Running a query with a cold cache is challenging. Without cache data, it must be fetched from OneLake and converted from Parquet format to in-memory structures for processing, which can be time-consuming and affect performance. Our latest improvement optimizes data fetching and transcoding, reducing cold query execution time in tests. This enhancement is automatic, boosting efficiency and ensuring a smoother user experience. Service Principal support for Fabric Data Warehouse. Earlier in September, we announced the capability to add support for Azure Service Principals in Microsoft Fabric REST APIs for Fabric items such as lakehouses and event houses. We're now pleased to extend this support to include warehouse as well. An Azure Service Principal, or SPN, is an application-based security identity that can be assigned permissions to access your data sources. Service Principals are utilized to securely connect to data without relying on a user identity. Now for some real-time intelligence. We're excited to announce the general availability of real-time intelligence. Launched at Build 2024, it offers extensive capabilities in ingestion, processing, analysis, transformation, visualization, and action. The Real-Time Hub serves as the central platform for managing streaming data and related tasks. This month brings numerous improvements. Stay tuned for blog posts that will cover the features in more depth. Ingest and process. Announcing the Real-Time Hub general availability. We are pleased to announce the general availability of Fabric Real-Time Hub, an enterprise-wide catalog that allows users to discover, connect to, explore, and act upon streaming data and events from any source. This solution integrates seamlessly with all real-time intelligence services, such as Fabric Event Streams, Event House, and Activator, significantly accelerating the time to insights. Originally released to public preview at Build 2024, Fabric Real-Time Hub has since become one of the most widely adopted features within the Real-Time Intelligence Suite, announcing enhanced Event Stream general availability. We're thrilled to announce the availability of Enhanced Event Stream. This upgrade introduces edit and live view modes, default and derived streams, and smart routing, giving data engineers more flexibility and efficiency in managing real-time data streams within Fabric Real-Time Intelligence. Announcing connector source general availability in Event Stream. Connector sources in enhanced event streams are now generally available. This feature enables connection of extreme real-time data streams to Fabric, providing an out-of-the-box experience and more options for real-time insights from various sources. It supports well-known cloud services like Google Cloud and Amazon Kinesis, as well as database change data capture streams through new messaging connectors. These connectors utilize Kafka Connect and Camel Kafka connectors for a flexible approach to data integration, ensuring broad connectivity across leading platforms. Additionally, Debezium is integrated for precise CDC stream capture. Introducing the Azure Service Bus connector for Event Stream. This tool streams messages from Azure Service Bus directly into Event Stream, allowing real-time processing and routing within Fabric. It simplifies integration and enables scalable data streaming from Azure messaging sources. New Fabric events. New Fabric event categories, OneLake events, and job events will be available in public preview on Real-Time Hub by the end of November. These events support real-time alerting and data processing via reflex triggers and event streams. OneLake events notify you to changes in your OneLake, such as file or folder creation and deletion. These events can automate workflows like triggering a data pipeline through Reflex. Event Stream data preview on databases CDC sources. The enhanced event stream now includes data preview for database CDC sources. This feature lets you view a snapshot of your data in edit mode and live view mode. In edit mode, it captures a snapshot from the configured CDC source, allowing you to infer the schema for further configuration without publishing first. Access this preview in the Test Results tab by selecting the source node on the canvas in edit mode. Monitoring experiences on connector sources with runtime logs and data insights in Event Stream. Event Stream now provides runtime logs and data insights for connector sources in live view mode. The runtime log feature allows users to review detailed logs produced by the connector engine for a specific connector, facilitating the identification of failure causes or warnings. This feature can be accessed in the bottom pane of EventStream by selecting the pertinent connector source node on the canvas in live view mode. Processing and routing events to Activator with EventStream. Fabric Activator, formerly known as Reflex, is a no-code tool in Microsoft Fabric for taking automatic actions when patterns or conditions are detected in real-time events. EventStream, under Real-Time Intelligence, captures, transforms, and routes real-time events from various sources to different destinations. EventStream now supports processing and transforming events based on business requirements before sending them to Activator. In Activator, you can set rules or conditions to monitor these events. To add this destination, select Activator from the destination menu in the ribbon while in edit mode. Introducing EventStream's CI/CD support. Collaborating on data streaming solutions can present significant challenges, particularly when multiple developers operate within the same environment. Issues such as conflicts, versioning discrepancies, and deployment inefficiencies frequently occur. We're pleased to announce the integration of Fabric CI/CD tools for EventStream within Microsoft Fabric, specifically designed to address these challenges and improve team collaboration. Automate EventStream item operations with EventStream REST APIs. The introduction of EventStream REST APIs allows you to automate and manage EventStream items programmatically. These APIs simplify CI/CD workflows and facilitate the integration of EventStream with external applications. Stream data to EventStream securely using Entra ID authentication. We're excited to introduce Entra ID authentication for EventStream's custom endpoint. This feature improves security by eliminating the need for SAS keys or connection strings, reducing unauthorized access risks. Entra ID authentication directly links user permissions to Fabric Workspace access, ensuring only authorized users can stream data to EventStream. See the screenshot below for how this looks in EventStream's custom endpoint. Analyze and transform. Event House monitoring. Fabric Workspace Monitoring is Fabric's centralized logging solution, providing seamless and consistent end-to-end monitoring of all Fabric items. It uses the Real-Time Intelligence Event House KQL database. When enabled, a KQL database stores all workspace event logs, ideal for time series logs and metrics monitoring. Event House query acceleration for shortcuts. Shortcuts in OneLake reference other files' locations without moving the original data. Previously, querying OneLake Delta tables via Event House had poor performance due to lacking indexing and caching. Query acceleration now indexes and caches data in OneLake instantly, enabling fast queries on large datasets. This allows real-time analysis from Event House combined with data from various sources in OneLake. Enabling this feature can improve performance by up to 50 times. Synapse Data Explorer to Event House migration. Synapse Data Explorer, or SDX, in Azure Synapse Analytics lets you explore, analyze, and visualize large data volumes using Custo Query Language, or KQL. Since 2019, SDX has been in public preview. Now, SDX is evolving into Event House, part of Real-Time Intelligence in Microsoft Fabric. Event House retains SDX features, but improves scalability, performance, and security. Customers can migrate seamlessly from SDX to Event House using the migration API with minimal disruption. New Explorer for database objects and KQL query sets. Easily navigate through the database connected to your current query set, allowing you to view tables, functions, materialized views, and other objects. By double-clicking any object, you can instantly copy its name to the query editor, thereby simplifying the process of writing queries. Entity Diagram View in KQL Database. A new feature in the KQL database page now allows users to visually explore relationships between database entities, such as tables, functions, materialized views, update policies, external tables, and continuous exports through an interactive graph visualization. This helps in managing the database and understanding how these entities interact. Sample scenarios. proactively manage dependencies, track data sources behind materialized views, interact with elements in Act, and track record ingestion. This visual tool simplifies database management, optimizing data structures, and track dependencies efficiently. Visualize and act. Easily share real-time dashboards with others. Microsoft Fabric's new real-time dashboard permissions offer granular control over user interactions. Administrators can now let users view dashboards without accessing raw data, ensuring data security while sharing insights. Fabric permissions determine how users can interact with the dashboard, specifying who is allowed to view, edit, or share data. Data source permissions control access to the raw data behind the visualization, ensuring only authorized users can access it. This separation helps maintain security by granting users only the necessary level of access. Announcing the general availability of Activator. Real-time Intelligence Activator is now generally available. We appreciate your partnership and feedback during Data Activator's development as we assist your organization in transitioning from insights to action. With general availability, you'll be able to stay on top of your critical metrics by monitoring your business objects, unlock the full potential of creating business rules on your data with advanced data filtering and monitoring capabilities, ensure your communications are perfect before hitting send by seeing a preview of your email and Teams messages, set up rules that trigger automatically with every new event that comes in on your stream of data, and we renamed our feature to help create clarity about what it is and what it does and simplify the way you discover Data Activator and create actionable rules. There are so many incredible features from Real-Time Intelligence team. Let's watch a few demos to learn more about the features.
Hello, we're thrilled to announce the general availability of Fabric Real-Time Hub, the one enterprise-wide catalog that enables users to discover, connect to, explore, and act upon streaming data and events from anywhere. Seamless integration with all real-time intelligence services like Fabric Event Streams, Event House, and Data Activator greatly accelerates time to insights. Fabric Real-Time Hub was originally released to public preview in May 2024. It has since become one of the most broadly adopted features within real-time intelligence. At the same time, our customers continue to give us valuable feedback to make Real-Time Hub even better. And we're listening. Here are some of the most recently released improvements. Now let's start with the enriched sample scenarios experience. For users who are new to Fabric Real-Time Intelligence, we provide enriched streaming data samples for you to get started. Secondly, users can discover streams and KQL tables that they have read or higher access to within Real-Time Hub, which allows them to discover more data streams shared with them, and so that they can collaborate with their colleagues more easily. Thirdly, customers will still be able to explore the data of their KQL tables with no code experience to enable them to interact with the data without leaving the context that they are in. Fourthly, we are introducing a new option called Azure Data Explorer, or ADX, database shortcut. Customers will soon create database shortcut in Fabric Event House for their ADX clusters. To find this feature, go to Microsoft Sources page and filter by Azure Data Explorer source, and pick a subscription. On this page, you will see the ADX cluster that you want to set an ADX shortcut for. This feature allows for efficient real-time data usage in real-time intelligence. Here's a quick demo for how to create ADX shortcut. Once you select the cluster, you give a name for the database shortcut and pick Event House to save the new shortcut. And after a few more clicks, and then hit create, now you have this ADX shortcut created. Thankfully, customers will soon be able to build event-driven applications, trigger notebooks and workflows, or send emails and Teams IM when OneLake files or tables are created, deleted, or renamed. Jobs are started or completed. For now, users will continue to be able to preview workspace item events, which are events produced by actions on items in a workspace, such as an item created, deleted, or renamed. Sixthly, users will soon be able to efficiently create real-time dashboards by selecting the Create Real-Time Dashboard option on QL tables. This Copilot assisted feature allows users to generate common real-time dashboards within seconds based on their input. To get started, navigate to either All Data Streams or My Data Streams and locate the KQL table for which you want to create a real-time dashboard. Click the ellipsis button and select Create Real-Time Dashboard. Upon opening the dialog, you will see 3 steps for generating a real-time dashboard: fetch data schema, send prompt to Copilot, build queries, and create dashboard. Click Get Started to initiate the automatic creation of the dashboard. Once all 3 steps are completed, you will be directed to a newly generated dashboard where you can continue to edit and personalize it according to your needs. Seventhly, we will introduce the simplified Azure Event Hub's source connection experience.
If you already have Microsoft sources that generate streaming data, you probably know how easy it is to bring those data into Fabric. We have significantly improved the experience for one of the most popular sources, Azure Event Hubs. With the proper permissions, you simply select the Event Hub and its Event Hub key to start the configuration for the connection. Here, you can see that all the fields are pre-populated for you. So, with just a couple clicks, your connection to the data source is complete and ready for the next step. Now, we did not just stop at enhancing the current experience. We're also actively expanding our range of connectors, offering even more flexibility to integrate your critical data sources directly into Fabric. We're very excited to announce the addition of connectors for Apache Kafka, Azure Service Bus, Change Data Capture on Azure SQL MIDB, as well as SQL Server on VMDB.
We are excited to bring Real-Time Hub as the starting point for your real-time intelligence journey. To learn more about Real-Time Hub, please visit aka.ms/realtimehub. Please feel free to try it out and give us feedback through Ask Fabric Real-Time Hub, ASKRTH@microsoft.com.
I'm a data engineer at Contoso Company. I have a dev workspace well developed to bring the real-time data from Azure Event Hub to my Fabric Lakehouse with my event stream. Here is my event stream topology showing the data flowing path. In this demo, I am going to show how the event stream CI/CD works that helps me to get my work source controlled in Git and to get my work well tested and deployed to production through deployment pipeline. Let's first link my dev workspace, i.e. ESDemoDev, to a folder with a development branch with Git. Select the necessary Git information from the drop-down list, such as Git project, Git repository. For the Git branch, create a new branch called development branch. Give a name for the Git folder where the workspace content could be synced to. Once the needed information is given, click Connect and Sync. Now, the dev workspace contents are starting to sync to the given Git folder with the development branch. Let's go check the contents synced to the folder. Select the development branch for the Git folder, and you will see there are 2 new subfolders there. One is for Lakehouse item, another is for event stream item. Enter the event stream folder. You will see the event stream JSON file, which contains the event stream definitions, such as sources, destinations, streams, and operators, etc. Since I've finished my development work for this workspace, I will push my changes to the main branch with a pull request. Now the changes are merged to the main branch successfully. We can also select the main branch to check the content. Till now, I've got my dev workspace content synced to Git and merged into main branch. Next, I'd like to deploy the latest content in main branch to my test workspace for validation. You see my test workspace. ESDemoTest is linked to the main branch. And now it shows there are 2 items updates to be synced. Click Update All button to start syncing the content from Git to this workspace. It will take a few seconds to get all the content synced to this workspace. Great. All the contents are synced to this workspace. Let's open the event stream to check its topology and configurations. We can see the topology is exactly the same as the one I defined in my dev workspace. For now, we have deployed the main branch content to the test workspace for the validation. Suppose the validation is good. The next step is to deploy the content we validated in test workspace to the production environment with the deployment pipeline. Click the Create Deployment Pipeline button on the top right corner and give the pipeline a name. Since we only automate one step from test stage to production stage, delete one stage here and get the automation created. Get the 2 stages configured with the corresponding workspace. In test stage, select the test workspace. In production stage, select the empty production workspace. After the initialization is done, select the 2 items from the production stage and deploy them. It will take a while to get the contents synced from test workspace to production workspace. Great! The contents are successfully deployed to production workspace now. Let's switch to the production workspace to check the content. We can see the 2 items, Event Stream and Lakehouse, are shown in the production workspace. And in the event stream, the topology and the configurations are the same as the ones in my original development workspace. From this demo, you see how the event stream CI/CD experience helped me to get my event stream in development workspace synced in a Git for source control, have my changes validated in test workspace, and deployed into production workspace automatically via deployment pipeline.
I am a data engineer from Contoso Company. I want to show you how to use EventStream public APIs to create EventStream with its definition. To simplify the process, I won't write the EventStream creation payload manually. Instead, I will get the definition from an existing EventStream and make some changes to it. This is the original EventStream with an Azure Event Hub source and Manage Fields operator, a derived stream, and a Lakehouse destination. There are a few prerequisites before making the EventStream API calls. First, an application needs to be registered in Entra ID service. Here I have already registered one. Second, the registered application needs to be added into the workspace as contributor or above roles. Third, obtain the token with the information of the registered application. Here I wrote a script to obtain the token with the info added there. Execute the script. The token is obtained from Azure. Copy this token and paste it to the environment configuration in your REST APIs tool. In this environment configuration, it defines the token workspace ID. Now all the prerequisites are ready. I can use my REST API tool to execute the API request. Let's first list the event stream for the given workspace in the API URL. We get one event stream listed. This is the original event stream we saw at the beginning. Then let's get this event stream's definition with the Get Event Stream Definition API. The definition is successfully returned from the API call. It is encoded with base 64. We will need to decode it with base 64 tool so that we can check the content and make some changes there. Here you go. The definition is decoded and now you can see the definition details, such as sources, destinations, operators, and streams. Now let's make some changes to this definition. Rename the default stream name to Yes API New Stream and replace all old names with this new name in this whole definition. Change the Lakehouse table into a new table name, ES New Table. That's it. Now, copy the encoded string from the left side for later use. Open the API request body of Create Event Stream with Definition API. Change the event stream name to ES API New. And paste it to the payload of Create Event Stream with Definition API. Let's send the request to create this new event stream. The API request is accepted. The new event stream should be created. We can use the List Event Stream API to check the new event stream. Here we go. The new event stream is there. We can also use the Get Operation API to check if the creation request is executed successfully. It has succeeded. Now let's go to the workspace and get the event stream open to check its topology and configurations. Here is the new event stream. The owner is the registered application as it is created through the API. Inside this new event stream, the topology and the configurations match to the definition we updated. From this demo, you see how to use the Event Stream Public API to create an event stream with a definition, and the newly created event stream can work perfectly. Introducing the new Fabric Workspace Monitoring solution. Workspace Monitoring is the centralized logging solution of Fabric. Workspace Monitoring is designed to provide a seamless and consistent monitoring experience with end-to-end visibility across all Fabric items. Workspace Monitoring is based on the Real-Time Intelligence Event House KQL database. Once Workspace Monitoring is enabled, a KQL database is created to store all the workspace items' event logs. KQL databases are ideal for time series logs and metrics monitoring solutions. For each one of the supported items, one or more events or metrics tables are created. Here you can see the tables supporting Event House query, command and ingestion monitoring, and semantic model query logs. In this demo, we will demonstrate how the Workspace Monitoring solution centrally monitors all the Power BI reports, semantic models, real-time dashboards, and Event Houses items created in the demo workspace. In the demo setup, the Power BI semantic models reads data from KQL database sources. However, semantic models queries are logged in the Workspace Monitoring solution regardless of the Power BI report data source. The workspace includes a list of Power BI reports, a bunch of real-time dashboards, and a list of the underlying Event House KQL databases used as the data sources of the reports. Users can explore and directly query workspace monitoring tables using KQL or SQL, with example queries available in the documentation. In addition, real-time dashboards can be created on top of the workspace monitoring database, providing an easy graphical monitoring user experience. Real-time dashboard templates can be imported to provide an out-of-the-box monitoring experience. In this example real-time dashboard, you can see semantic model CPU usage monitoring with a direct link to the underlying KQL queries being run by the Power BI report. Users can troubleshoot issues by correlating events across semantic models and their underlying databases. Users can troubleshoot spikes and activities and investigate who is consuming these resources. The user can easily zoom into the exact spike time and determine which user or application generated the usage peak. They can then drill down to the specific query log record. In summary, Workspace Monitoring offers a centralized Fabric monitoring solution, allowing users to efficiently monitor and troubleshoot their workspace items. Specifically for Event House, query, command, and ingestion events and metrics logging enable advanced Event House monitoring capabilities.
Hi, I'm Anshul Sharma. I'm a product manager for Fabric Real-Time Intelligence. Today we are going to talk about an exciting new capability of Event House, query acceleration. Query acceleration indexes and caches data landing in OneLake on the fly, allowing customers to run performant queries on large volumes of data in OneLake. Here's a typical customer scenario. I'm a data analyst. I use Event House to analyze real-time streams of data, but different teams in my organization have data landing in OneLake, either coming from mirror databases, warehouses, lakehouses, or Spark, all in Delta format. We also have historical data for past few years stored in Lake. As this data is highly granular and unstructured, I would like to use Event House to run performant queries without having to pre-ingest the data. I would also like to combine the data in Lake with real-time streams coming in Event House and build responsive reports on top. How can I do that? Well, you can now achieve that by creating an accelerated shortcut from Event House to Delta tables in OneLake. Let's see how. Now I'm in my Event House. I have a KQL database which was previously created. We will now create a couple of shortcuts. To create a shortcut, you can click on New Shortcut. Using the familiar Data Hub component, you can choose your Delta tables. In my case, the Delta tables reside in one of the lake houses. I'm going to select the tables that I'm interested in, click on Next. Now, as you can see, there's a new option that's available wherein I can optionally choose to accelerate this shortcut. I'm going to select both of them and complete my creation process. Both the shortcuts are created. And now behind the scene, Event House will index and cache the data, not just existing data, but any new data that lands into OneLake. And whenever its metadata is updated, Event House will consider it for acceleration. Now let's move on to query set and try to query this table. Now we are in a query set. You can see the shortcuts that we created are available for query. We'll start by running a simple query, which counts the number of records in a table. So this table has around 4.3 billion records, and the query executed in almost 15 milliseconds. Next, we'll sample the data out of the table. So as you can see, this table has not only structured columns, but also free text as well as semi-structured JSON data. Next, we'll categorize all the data in the table by counting the number of rows based on level. Level is one of the column in the table. So as you can see, this query kind of scanned all the 1.2 terabytes of data in the table and categorize it in 4 level types. And this query executed in 1.7 seconds, which is quite fast. Now, lastly, we'll analyze the semi-structured JSON part of the data. The data of this particular table is coming from IoT devices. So we'll look for a specific download tag and look at the JSON original size message to kind of calculate the size. So if I run this query, it returned the top 10 devices based on the sizes for sending me the data. And this query again completed in almost 1 second. At this point, I can create a dashboard or a Power BI report or set performance alerts on top of my accelerated shortcut. Now, just to showcase the performance gains, I will run the same query that we ran earlier on top of a non-accelerated table. So the count query, I'll execute it again. And as you can see, this query is already taking longer. So the query completed in almost 3 seconds, which is at least 100 times slower than what we saw earlier. The performance gains is significant for accelerated tables, even for simplest of query, let alone for complex queries where the gains can be even higher. That's all for the demo. Thank you.
Hi everyone! Fabric real-time dashboards are now generally available, with powerful capabilities for real-time data monitoring and decision-making. We can see here how real-time dashboards let you organize data into pages and tiles. Each tile is a visual representation of a specific data metric or trend, making it easy to get a quick overview at a glance. Real-time dashboards can pull data from multiple sources, whether within Fabric or Azure. This flexibility means that you can bring together all the data you need in one place, regardless of where it's stored. As a real-time dashboard author, it's easy to create new or edit existing tiles. You can write KQL queries to bring the insights you need, and you can customize each tile's visualization type to best suit the data, whether it's a line chart, bar chart, or something else entirely. Customization is not limited to chart type, and you can set multiple visual formatting options to help you ensure that each data point is presented in the most meaningful way for your audience. You can also apply conditional formatting to ensure that data points that require special attention are not missed. Notice the parameters set at the top. These let you adjust the dashboard view based on specific criteria, such as date range or event type. Not only that, but the tiles can interact with each other too. For example, you can apply a filter in a tile context, and it will cross-filter related data across different tiles. With drill-through capability, we can go from high-level overview down to detailed insights in seconds. Real-time dashboards are built for displaying real-time data, with the auto refresh feature now also supporting continuous and 10 seconds refresh rate. You can set near real-time and real-time data updates, ensuring your dashboards display the most current information with minimal delay. If you want to dive deeper into any metric, we now support visual data exploration for each tile. This feature allows us to modify the query using a friendly, no-code interface without changing the underlying tile. So even without technical knowledge or KQL knowledge, anyone on the team can generate new insights or explore data further without impacting the original dashboard. You can now set alerts on specific tiles with data activator integration. This means that when a metric goes above or below a certain threshold, you or your team will be notified instantly, enabling prompt responses to critical changes. Finally, sharing your dashboard is just as simple. With a few clicks, you can grant access to team members or stakeholders, ensuring everyone has the insights they need right at their fingertips.
Let's talk about the updates for Data Factory. Table and partition refreshes added to semantic model refresh activity. One of the most frequently used features in Fabric Data Factory was inspired by customer patterns observed in Azure Data Factory and feedback from the community. This feature is the semantic model refresh activity. After the initial release of this pipeline activity, there were requests to enhance ELT pipeline processing by adding an option to refresh specific tables and partitions in semantic models. This feature has now been enabled, making the pipeline activity an efficient method for refreshing Fabric semantic models. Import and export your Fabric Data Factory pipelines. As a Data Factory pipeline developer, you may need to export your pipeline definition to share it with other developers or reuse it in other workspaces. The ability to export and import Data Factory pipelines from your Fabric workspace has been added. This feature enhances collaborative capabilities and can be used when troubleshooting pipelines with support teams. New connectors available. The Data Factory data pipeline now includes ServiceNow and Vertica connectors, enhancing data ingestion projects. Additionally, you can write data in Iceberg format using the Azure Data Lake Storage Gen 2 connector. Copilot for Data Factory data pipeline. In Fabric Data Factory, Data Flows Gen 2 and data pipelines are essential features. The general availability of Copilot for Dataflow Gen 2 enhances productivity by assisting with data transformation tasks. Similarly, the public preview of Copilot for Data Pipeline offers users increased efficiency in developing data integration solutions and facilitates easier pipeline maintenance and troubleshooting. Modern Get Data OneLake Data Hub is rebranded to OneLake Catalog. We would like to announce that the OneLake Data Hub has been rebranded as the OneLake Catalog in Modern Get Data. The OneLake Catalog is an evolution of the OneLake Data Hub, providing a cohesive platform. In the current Modern Get Data, the OneLake Catalog will retain the same functionality as the previous OneLake Data Hub. In the future, we plan to expand the functionality of the OneLake Catalog to enable data engineers, scientists, analysts, and decision makers to explore, organize, and manage their data in one comprehensive and user-friendly location. Dataflows now supports CI/CD. With Dataflows Gen 2, you can now utilize Git integration and CI/CD support. When enabling Git integration within the workspace, you can store your Dataflow definitions in Git and branch to other workspaces to collaborate on the same data flow. This will enhance your workflow if you have dedicated workspace for development, testing, and production. Start using this feature today. Your feedback is valuable for improving the experience in various scenarios. Public REST APIs now available. We now support CI/CD, Git, and public REST APIs. With these public APIs, users can create a new Dataflow Gen 2 in your Fabric workspace, read existing data flows to export definitions, update data flows with new versions, delete data flows to clean up your workspace, and list all data flows in a workspace for more details. Let's get into some demos from the Data Factory team.
One of the most popular features that we've introduced into Data Factory pipelines inside of Microsoft Fabric is the semantic model refresh activity. It's a native activity inside of Data Factory that you can use in your pipeline to refresh your semantic models. Now we've made that even better. A lot of the feedback that we've heard is that it would be really awesome to have the ability to refresh tables in partitions inside that semantic model to make for a more improved and more efficient ETL pipeline. Well, now we've added that. So now you can select your semantic model, and then after selecting that, you can select the tables inside of your model. And when you have partitions for that table, you can even select just particular partitions, and only those partitions will then be refreshed when you run that pipeline and the refresh activity is executed. We are super excited to announce the new capability in Fabric Data Factory pipelines where you can now export and import your pipeline definitions. So here I am in my pipeline design canvas, and you will see buttons on the toolbar for exports and import. You can also use a template and import your pipeline definition through the template gallery as well. So a quick demonstration, I just click on the export button, and this will prompt me to save my pipeline definition, which is now in my downloads folder. So now I can click import, and I can import that pipeline into my design canvas. Data Factory will prompt me to replace any connections that I have because it's working as a template, and you want to then share this code, the pipeline code, with other developers in your organization or even outside of your organization. And so when they go to import it, they'll want to replace the connection with their own connection. And in this case, what Data Factory has done is it has taken the template and it has added it and merged it into my existing pipeline. You can also start with a new pipeline and import a template. Let me show you that really quick. Okay, so I'm creating a brand new pipeline. I can just click on import and take that pipeline, set my connection, and now it just has the one activity that I had for my template. This is also a very powerful feature to use when you are troubleshooting with customer service, and you can provide Microsoft with a copy of your pipeline through the export capability. Thanks for watching.
Well, that's all for this month. Please visit our Fabric community forums at aka.ms/fabriccommunity. It's the best place for you to connect with others and get answers to your questions. We value your feedback, so let us know how we can improve and what you're enjoying from the monthly update. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe so you never miss out on an update. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next month.